Hello YouTube, this is Daniel from the Piney Woods of East Texas. I bring you greetings from M to the third power, Mike and Melissa Morgan. Welcome to another edition of Outdoors with the Morgans.
So welcome back everyone, Mike here. It is a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania today. Not a cloud in the sky. It is kind of cold. It's about 35 degrees right now. And tomorrow it's supposed to be pretty cold. I think a high in the mid-20s. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday look really nice. I just went to the lumber yard and I picked up 4 10-foot 4x4s treated that I'll be using to build a woodshed, the first of many. And all I will have to buy are the 4x4s for the posts, the ones that go in the ground, and some metal roofing. Everything else I have cut from the Woodmizer Sawmill. So we'll be doing that this weekend. But when I get home here, I want to show you a chainsaw that I think may be a really good option for a firewood saw, and it's battery powered. I'm not sure, I only ran it for about 30 seconds so far, but it seems like the real deal. And that's hard for me to say because I had never had any interest in battery powered chainsaws until I got to try one, and I'm impressed. They definitely do have their place. Like I've been using that little Stihl 161T. It's a top handle saw. It's for like guys that climb and your limit and things like that. I use it for down around the sawmill. You know, you got to make a couple cuts here or there, keep it in the Ranger. But the one I'm going to show you, I think, is a legitimate firewood saw. And what we'll do a comparison between it and like a comparable, what I think is comparable, gas-powered chainsaw. And we'll just do a little side-by-side test tonight. Kind of a quick video, but at some point I would like to do a full detailed review comparing the gas to the battery powered chainsaw. You know, how long, you know, how much wood you can cut on a single battery charge versus how much wood you can cut on 1 tank of fuel in the gas powered saw, and you know, time everything and really go into it in detail. But tonight I want to get my hands on this thing and try it in some cherry, maybe like some, I don't know, 10, 12 inch diameter cherry. We'll see how it does. But anyway, I'm almost back to the house now. I'll grab the saws, my other camera. We'll head down to the yard, and I may even split a little bit more wood. I have a little bit left down at the yard, and then I want to get the splitter back in the garage, clean all that area up. I'm telling you, spring is coming. It is. I mean, it's February. We're past the middle of February. It's going to be cold the next day or two, but it's coming. I can feel it. See you in a bit. All right, so here is the battery powered saw that I think may be a legitimate saw for cutting firewood. It's the Stihl MSA 220C. This is just a loaner. I'm going to try it out for a few weeks, see how we like it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a few cuts on this cherry with this saw, and then I'll fire up a Stihl MS 250. You know, it's obviously a gas powered saw. We'll do a side-by-side comparison, see which one's faster, kind of talk about the weight and the differences. But yeah, I'm anxious to try it out. Now this log that we're going to be cutting is just a little cherry, about 11.5 inches in diameter. As you know, cherry is a hardwood. It's not like oak or, you know, like red oak or white oak or hickory, but it's definitely a hardwood. 11.5 inches. This is a 16-inch bar on this MSA 220C, and I have a AP 300S battery in it. I think as it sits right there, it weighs about 10.4 pounds. So let's make a couple cuts here and see how it does. All right, let's try the MS 250. won't know for sure until I edit the video and do a side-by-side. I mean, the MS250 is faster, it appeared to me at least, but not a whole lot faster. It's definitely nowhere near as fast as the MS261, which is what I use mostly for firewood. But I think either one of these would be a decent, you know, a decent saw if you're going out to get a load of wood in your side-by-side or whatever. And these are pretty inexpensive. I'm not sure the price of the MS220, the battery power saw. You'll have to look that up, or maybe I'll try to put the, I'll put it in the video here. So to kind of review the key differences between these two saws, obviously the MS250 is gas powered, the MSA 220 battery powered. The battery powered saw weighs in at 10.4 pounds, and that includes the AP300S battery. And by the way, they're pretty heavy batteries. The MS250 weighs in at 10.1 pounds, so they're about the same weight. Another difference is I have a 18-inch bar on the MS250 compared to a 16-inch bar on the MSA 220. Now, as far as either of these saws being a great firewood saw, in my opinion, they would be decent. And what I mean is, you know, if you cut 1, 2, maybe even 3 cords a year, I think either one of these saws would serve you well. Much more than that, though, you're probably going to want something with a little bit more power. Now, the battery power saw, where these things really shine, at least in my opinion, is they're just so convenient. You know, you don't have to mess with the choke. You don't have to wait to warm up. They're really handy, like to have in your side-by-side down here at the sawmill. You hit the trigger, they're cutting. They're really, really nice for that. At some point, what I'd like to do, I'll sharpen both of these chains and make sure it's a very fair test, and like see how much wood you can cut on one charge of a battery versus one tank of fuel on the MS250, and kind of get into it a little bit more detail, and maybe even bring the MS261 down, just show you how much faster that saw is than an MS250. And what I'm trying to do here, there's a lot of people have lots of different needs. You know, I cut a lot of firewood, and some people don't, you know, a lot of people don't cut that much. You don't need a $600 chainsaw if you're just cutting a couple cords of wood a year. There's no need for that. That's where something like this MS250 would come into play. You know, maybe you're just cutting wood for your outdoor fire pit, or maybe a cord a year for your fireplace or something like that. This would be a fine saw for that. I think this would be a fantastic saw for cutting a little bit of firewood and just having around when you need a saw. You know, say you have a storm roll through or something like that, this thing's gonna go every time. You know, you don't have to worry about gas sitting in it for a long time, nothing like that. Pull the trigger, it's gonna cut. So that's something else to consider. But anyway, I think that's about it. At some point, you know, like I said, we'll go through these a little bit more, do a little bit better test, and you know, I'll spend a little bit more time. But yeah, so far I'm kind of pleased. I do think this is a little faster, and we'll know for sure right now. All right, I got just a little bit more daylight left, so what I'm gonna do is split a little bit of firewood. And by the way, March 8th is 2 weeks from Saturday. That's when we turn the clocks. It'll be like 7:30 before it gets dark. It's gonna be awesome.
Wyatt Farrington from Saranac Lake, New York, thanking you for watching another episode of Outdoors with the Morgans. Hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Have a day.